The subloaded, fam! It's your boy Loaded Reacts, and we loaded into another reaction! Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit post notifications. We got 10 bad candies that are actually extremely dangerous. Nothing's really dangerous to me, honestly, because this immune system is like a beast. I'm like the Hulk, I'm like the Rock. But let's get into this reaction.
Everybody loves candy, am I right? It's just so sweet and tasty, sometimes crunchy, munchy, sour, and awesome. Even diabetics have found a way to get their sweets on without any real repercussions. But surely just a little bit of sugar can't be that bad, right? Well,
the Smarties back in the day. You know, back in the day when I was a kid, right, man? You know, I'm like 35 right now, so it's like I'm 18, but still. Back in the day, those Smarties were the go-to.
I'm sorry to say that you are wrong. Some candies can be very dangerous. Some can even outright kill you.
I like the ones where you suck them. I like to suck my candies for a very long time. I love to suck my candy like to all the flavors gone.
Candies that are extremely dangerous.
To like fillings in my mouth.
Number 10. Trolley Roadkill Gummy Candy. Yes, they literally made gummy candies to look like roadkill. The candy featured gummies in the shape of squash snakes, chickens, and squirrels. Complete with tire tracks, too. Appetizing. Of course, this brilliant product was beset upon by outrage and a formal protest was filed against Kraft Foods. The mastermind behind this brilliant idea by the New Jersey Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The New Jersey SPCA claimed that the roadkill candy sent a wrong message to children and that it's okay to harm animals. It took particular offense to the advertisement, which featured animated animals fearing for their lives with a pair of headlights rapidly approaching them. Although the case didn't specify it, some also fear that the candies that show blatant cruelty to animals could breed a generation of serial killers. Normally I'm against these arguments because they generally involve video games, comic books, and TV, but I'm actually...
Bro, so you're telling me candy can make serial killers? You better look at these video games then. These video games came in bad.
These candies might not be deadly, but they may lead to a lifestyle choice that probably is. Eating roadkill carries a lot of health risks that, if you're unlucky, may lead to death.
Really?
Number 9. Kinder Eggs. Milk
I'm
chocolate eggs on
but
the
I've never had
outside
these
with a
before.
surprise
So my friends
toy
like
waiting
these
for you
things.
on the inside. But what's so bad about that? Well, according to the US FDA, a lot of things are wrong with it. Thus, it is banned in the United States, as is most fun things. The ban doesn't extend to just the Kinder Egg specifically. They actually banned the sale of all food products containing embedded, non-nutritive objects some 80 years ago. And unfortunately, Kinder Eggs are the textbook example of that kind of food product. The rationale for the ban is that the toy...
Those are not banned! My friend had one like a week ago! My brother got one like a week ago! These are not banned!
Inside, which is encased in a capsule, might be swallowed accidentally and become a choking hazard.
I can see that,
This actually does make a little bit of sense,
so what kid's gonna go
many
like,
cases in
suck
Europe
the whole
of kids
egg in their
accidentally
mouth.
choking on one of these capsules. So
That kid's just not the brightest thing.
So the
if your kid's
FDA
choking
might
on an
actually
egg,
be right about banning
bro,
this
you
one.
should just chew on an egg. Your kid's putting the whole thing in his mouth? Damn, you better watch your kid.
Well, granted, this doesn't really work
Not
since
the
the holes are
brightest.
still blocked by the toy inside. Despite it being banned, people have still attempted to smuggle it into the United States. According to an article from the Wall Street Journal, as of 2018, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection had seized over 160,000 Kinder Surprise eggs from travelers' baggage. They've also seized them from international mail shipments since 2011. Number 8. Haribo Sugar-Free Gummy Bears. In early 2014, the world learned how much harm a handful of gummy bears could really do. That's when the internet caught on to the Amazon reviews for Haribo's sugar-free gummy bears, which told harrowing tales of how these sweets ruined the colons of many people. Lycocin, a sugar substitute, was found to be the culprit of the gummy bears' bodily onslaught. While it was considered safe to eat, lycocin consists mainly of maltitol, a well-known sugar alcohol that is almost as sweet as sugar.
It's a sugar
The main problem
alcohol.
is that it's not fully digestible, it just kind of ferments in the gut. If eaten in excess, side effects can include increased flatulence, loose stools, and diarrhea. According to studies, even just 40 grams of maltitol can cause gastrointestinal responses. To put that in perspective, you can get 40 grams of the stuff just by eating 15 of these little gummy bears. Due to the media attention and the very poor consumer reviews...
Now that's just disgusting, bro. No, girl, you're just nasty. Get your tongue off the goddamn treadmill and eat like a proper person!
Haribo has since discontinued this particular.
Look at this, bro!
Bear. Number 7.
I don't like gummy bears, they're too hard to chew. I like stuff I suck. Smarties
While
are good,
there isn't
though.
a carpet ban on these sweets in
No
the
homo,
U.S.,
really
certain
don't say
schools
that.
have elected to keep these sweets out of their cafeterias. But why, though? I
What's wrong with
personally
Smarties?
remember Smarties as being omnipresent in
Yeah,
my
Smarties
candy
are- there's
bag
nothing
while I
wrong
was
with Smarties.
trick-or-treating back in the day. And kids always had them all the time at school. I mean, I never really thought that these things would have the potential of killing me someday. Apparently, though, I didn't have a wild imagination, or I was fortunately unaware of how drugs were consumed.
Yeah.
Kids have apparently discovered a novel way of consuming these sweets. It involves crushing the rockets into a fine powder, lining up the
Into a
fine powder
fine
on a smooth
powder.
surface, then snorting them up your nose.
Yeah.
Oh man, we are really dumb as kids, I'll be honest. It is pretty ridiculous, and it really sounds like something a bored kid would do. But in all seriousness, it has health risks like any other powder going up your nose. This can cause asthma attacks, long-term breathing problems, and although rare, nasal maggots. Number 6.
Nasal maggots. Ew. Oh.
6. Candy cigarettes. I, for one, loved these when I was a kid. I even collected a few boxes. For the majority of the 20th century, candy
Yeah,
cigarettes
this one
were
I can see.
readily
This one
available.
I can see. This one being banned.
This allowed us kids to mimic cigarette smoking adults, because let's be honest here, we all did that. In 2009, that mostly changed when the FDA banned flavored cigarettes from American shelves. This ban didn't apply to the candy itself, just to actual
Smoke
cigarettes.
actually comes out of them? I didn't know smoke actually come out of them. I never had one before. I seen them before, but I never had one. I know smoke actually comes out of them. I thought they were just like pixies. I thought they were just like sticks you could just
But it did
chew.
encourage many American stores, including Walmart, to take the candy off the shelves. A key factor in Walmart's policy change was a 2007 study published in Preventative
Imagine getting your
Medicine,
kid one
which
of
showed a
those.
statistical link between candy cigarettes and smoking real ones. Something tells me you don't have to be Einstein to figure that out.
Yeah.
The study found that 22% of people who currently smoked had consumed candy cigarettes as a child, while of those who didn't currently smoke, only 14% used candy cigarettes. The study's leader further emphasized the results by saying the continued existence of these products helps promote smoking as a culturally or socially acceptable activity.
Exactly.
Number 5. The lollipipe. Same principle as the hippie sippy, but aimed towards a different set of people. The
I love the lollipop.
lollipop
It's like
is
I
a
never heard
fully
of this
functional
before.
pipe that's made entirely out of candy.
It's fully
Originally
functional?
meant as a gag gift for smokers, it wasn't long for people to start using them to smoke, well, other stuff. At first, it was only
Yeah.
available online. The novelty caught on and was soon available on store shelves everywhere. Marijuana smokers loved it, stating that it added to the experience of smoking weed. Parents, however, ooh boy, they weren't happy.
Yeah, I know.
The package clearly shows that you need to be 18 or above to purchase it, but that's precisely why fake IDs were invented. So it was only a matter of time before kids were able to grab hold of it, much to the concern of their parents. Although not deadly in itself, the dilemma here is that kids might develop the wrong impression on pipe smoking and drug use. They're not the kind of the thing that we want to
Can't believe
teach our
they made
kids.
this.
So a decision was made to ban the product
looks better
outright
to
in some
suck,
US
though.
states like Indiana, but it is still legal to purchase in others.
Oh.
Number 4. Chinese medicine candy.
Never heard
For
of it.
God knows what reason, Chinese candy manufacturers suddenly manufactured and sold candies to look like pills packaged in a bottle. These kind of bottles actually wouldn't look out of place at a pharmacy. Just to be clear, the manufacturers never really claimed that their products actually work though. They were even marketed as the perfect April Fool's Day gift. The thing is, the CFDA did not find it remotely funny. They were immediately removed from the market, and the general public was warned to stay away from these sweets.
What's wrong
Number
with
3.
them? What's wrong with them though?
Lucas Muecas. Pretty sure I mispronounced that.
me
Lucas is a candy that hails from Mexico. It
I'm
comes
sorry,
in a
I was about
powder
to
and
think.
is
I was
a
about to say it kind of looks like a Mexican candy. Mexican candy is good to some people. I cannot like it. I don't know. It's like it's too much for me. I don't like candy that much, but that Mexican candy be too much.
available in a
That should be
variety
out
of
my mouth.
flavors, including, get this,
Fire.
hot chili. Now, we just talked about rockets being banned from schools because of kids having the habit of crushing them, snorting them, and, well, going crazy. Lucas made things easier for them by skipping the crushing part. However, the reason why it was banned was
Dirty
for
crushed?
a totally different reason. Lucas has always been
Something
rumored
to
to
suck,
contain
finally.
lead, which in high concentration
Something to suck finally.
is definitely poisonous. The manufacturers, instead of denying that they were adding lead to their products, stated that they are currently phasing the lead out of their candies. Due to the FDA not being able to find any definitive source stating it actually has been phased out, erring on the side of caution is the best way to go.
There's lead inside the candy.
Now it's time for today's
These
best
dudes
pick.
here nowadays be trying to get their kids.
Today's pick is a candy that isn't only toxic by name, but also by nature.
Ew.
What candy is it? Well, find out next with number 2. Toxic Waste Nuclear Sludge Chew Bar. I've never heard a more name appropriate for the Fallout games than this. Here's something that definitely does what it says on the tin. It came as little surprise to many when a candy called Toxic Waste Nuclear Sludge Chew Bars was recalled in 2011 for being, yes, toxic. Fortunately, it wasn't contaminated by toxic nuclear waste, but what was found was nearly, if not as deadly. Tests by the California Department of Public Health indicated that many of the bars had elevated levels of lead, which is approximately 0.24 parts per million, more than double the standard US FDA tolerance of 1 parts per million. Of course, lead poisoning can be fatal, especially in pregnant women and children under 6 years old. As for the culprit, Indianapolis' Candy Dynamics, who are still in business by the way, didn't actually manufacture the candy itself. It was actually made in Pakistan, a country where health and safety standards are more of a loose guideline rather than a strict rule. Luckily, no one reported becoming sick from eating the candy. Instead of waiting for a massive lawsuit, Candy Dynamics smartly pulled out the products themselves. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? To date with every video we put out. And to be considered dangerous, it doesn't have to directly the hippie sippy. For a food item to be considered dangerous, it doesn't have to directly kill you or make you ill. Sometimes it's enough if said food item becomes your gateway to more dangerous and even deadly substances. Such is the case with the hippie sippy, a Japanese-made candy made in the 60s during the height of the hippie movement in the US. Unscrupulous businessmen immediately imported it into the US and was soon available in local candy stores, easily within the reach of millions of highly impressionable kids, much to the anger of parents nationwide. Let me explain why. You see, hippie sippy candles look suspiciously like syringes, obviously a play on the rampant use of recreational drugs at the time. The idea was kids would suck tiny multicolored chocolate balls through a thin straw that looked like a needle. Angry parents quickly launched complaints and it was promptly removed from store shelves. You can still find the empty packages though, and also the controversial buttons that came along with it saying things like "We sell happiness" and "I'll try anything." Have you ever actually eaten any of these candies?
Let's go cap the video off, bro. We got some weird stuff to do yet.